Raila Odinga's attitude towards working with one Kalonzo Musyoka should be worrying to Oka team. Yesterday, while meeting a host of MCS from Murang'a, flanked by Peter Kenneth, Raila Odinga made it open that Azimio is for the willing. That message was directly targeting Kalonzo Musyoka. So we know that on Saturday, the Azimio team are supposed to go and unveil their presidential candidate, perhaps with the running mate or maybe not. But then what do you think has stalled the talks between the Azimio and One Oka? What do you think have actually stalled the talks between Azimio and Oka? That is the big question. Remember, in this channel, I analyzed to you that Mutula Kalonzo Jr., while having an exclusive interview with the Star team, divulged that neither President Uhuru Kenyatta nor William Ruto, neither President Uhuru Kenyatta nor Raila Odinga was reaching out to Kalonzo Musyoka after Kalonzo shared public the secret power sharing deal with Raila Odinga. No one, even after the two NDCs, both Wiper and ODM, I think they never reached out to Kalonzo. And Raila Odinga's attitude tells it all. So I want us to look at this critically and do a critical analysis on what is the real issues that are stalling the Oka Azimio deal. Then straight before we do that, if you're watching this video and you have not yet subscribed, I want to kindly request you to subscribe. Also click the notification bell so that you will always be notified. And thank you very much for your continued support. This makes me go to a tweet that was done by Boniface Mwangi some time back. I screenshotted it. I did a screenshot and I was having it here. And I want us to look at what he was saying, because I believe that is one of the reasons where this talk have actually stalled. The biggest worry among Oka members is signing a deal with Raila Odinga only to realize that he is Uhuru's puppet. Oka members don't trust Ruto, but they don't know how to relate with a puppet Raila. Raila, the enigma, is a hostage of a lame duck President Uhuru. How times change. And he did that tweet with some cartoon there. Now, the first reason that has stalled the Oka Raila talks is Martha Karua do not feel like working with Raila. She doesn't have a problem with Raila, but she thinks that Raila is extension of Uhuru Kenyatta's governance or Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure. That is the big deal. If Uhuru Kenyatta was not in the Azimio, if the shadow of Uhuru Kenyatta is not somewhere in Azimio, I can tell you that Martha Karua would have joined Raila Odinga. And because of that, that is why you could see there's still back and forth, delay, paperwork, we are looking at that document, we are going to sign it. That is the reason number one. Because Boniface Mwangi is the closest to Martha Karua than any other person. He is a very close ally of Martha Karua. And this directly is something that I was saying. It is Boniface Mwangi that mentioned that Raila wanted to work with Martha Karua, but the deep state team do not front Martha Karua. So that is the one reason. Secondly, the insistence by Kalonzo Musyoka that he can only work with Azimio through Jubilee Party technically made him bolt out. Because the presidential candidate is Raila Odinga. The chemistry that he's supposed to have is a chemistry between him and Raila Odinga. But I think he has now overlooked Raila and seems to be so much interested for getting to Azimio through President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that insistence is also bringing a problem in Oka. Remember, this borders my first point, that Martha Karua do not want to hear anything of Uhuru working behind Raila. So with Kalonzo Musyoka still insisting that he wants to go to talks with Uhuru to join Azimio, even within Oka, that is the big giant in the house. That is the giant in the house. Why Martha Karua is non-committal even on the Oka Azimio deal. That has worked against these fellas. And if you look at it critically, you'll actually realize that Kalonzo Musyoka is pegging his argument on the last betrayal, when he reached that power sharing deal. And he was insisting that it was time for Raila to say Kalonzo Tosha. And some people have argued this out and said, look here, this is someone who he has already brought in Uhuru Kenyatta, and now he has a support. The dynamics have changed. But pause, let's wait. Do you think that Raila was supposed to say, sorry, we had a deal, I did not honor it, but let's talk again, or to deny? Because it seems the Raila team have denied. Kivutha Kibwana is saying that document was overtaken with the time, so he has owned it. Makau Mutua seems to have disowned the document, and now Kalonzo Musyoka has remained with it alone. Third point, the three governors in Azimio are the bridge to Kalonzo Musyoka, and that is what Kalonzo Musyoka doesn't want to hear. Because if you see the way they're chest thumping, I think when they went to the rally in Machakos, and they pulled some audience there, of course they pulled some audience there, and they made Raila get the confidence, or they were trying to convince the Raila that, look here, there is no problem, you can get the backing. Kivutha Kibwana, Charity Ngilu, and Alfred Mutua wants Kalonzo Musyoka to play second fiddle to them. And I think indirectly Raila Odinga is being involved and is being used in what to me seemed to be an Ukambani kingpinship war. They want to replace Kalonzo Musyoka, and indeed they want to use Raila Odinga. The truth of the matter is this: if Raila will win the August 8th general election minus Kalonzo Musyoka, then I can tell you that Kalonzo's goose is cooked and he will be out of Ukambani politics forever. Because these governors shall have been actually won a narrative that they want to take Ukambani nation to the government. And that is the narrative that has worked around against Kalonzo Musyoka. So by all means, Kalonzo Musyoka, to remain politically relevant in Ukambani, he has to work with a winning side. He either has to work with Raila or work with Ruto. But more importantly, I think due to the way he has spoken himself, he's more aligned towards Raila Odinga. Now today, let's look at a very interesting tweet here. Raila Odinga was going to campaign in Samburu, and they were there with Gideon Moi. And so Gideon Moi did a tweet. There's a, I have today bumped into my good friend and patriot, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, on my way to Samburu for Honorable Isula Lesuda's re-election campaign launch. I can say this. There is no coincidence here. This Lesuda, guys, someone is really making noise here, and she's my daughter, and we just know she has to do this. So we have to bear. Now, this Lesuda, she's a very strong member of Azimio Women League. And so she is in Azimio. There is nothing like coincidence. Gideon Moi wanted to communicate a message to Kalonzo Musyoka that he wants to work with Raila Odinga. Because, let me tell you people, there are many meetings that happen behind the scenes that are not shared. When you see a politician meeting, an event happens and they come out to share, I can tell you it's for political communication. This tweet was done initially, it was done to communicate to Kalonzo Musyoka that Gideon Moi wants to work with him. So guys, I want us to look at that very critical so that we try to divulge on what next. Now, what can happen if Raila Odinga doesn't work with Kalonzo? Or to make the question have an impact, what can make if Kalonzo Musyoka does not join Azimio la Umoja? I want us to look at this tweet. Do you remember what happened in 2013 when a few Kalenjin leaders cheated on you that you could bypass Ruto and get Kalenjin votes directly after showing Ruto Madarau? That's according to this. Now that the comedian Alfred Mutua takes you to Mlolongo, you choose the road and create a traffic jam, a huge crowd builds up, and then you think you can upstage Kalonzo in Ukambani? That's another question. Now, Ngilu rode on the NASA wave and won the Kitui seat, but Ngilu can't match influence of Kalonzo in Kitui. You can't just wipe out a whole kingpin like Kalonzo. You can't. Whoever is lying to Raila that he can kick Kalonzo off the stage and take Kamba votes cheated him in 2013, and that would use a few Kalenjin leaders in 2013 to kick out Ruto. This guy does not, yes, Kalonzo akipeleka kura side ya Ruto, out of anger and madharau, Raila will lose. This is what we're paying. So this is someone's argument, and I want us to, in my next aspect, I want us to look at Kalonzo not working with Raila. What can be the implication on Raila's presidential bid? Let's look at that. One, if Kalonzo doesn't work with Raila and decides to go to the ballot alone, he's going to lose Jirongo and KANU leader, that is Gideon Moi. So in the event that Gideon Moi crosses over to Raila, Kalonzo goes to the ballot alone, then the 1 million vote that is in Ukambani, Raila might get half and Kalonzo might get half. Because first, the narrative that the three governors will run against Kalonzo is that Kalonzo is just selfish, he doesn't work with Raila and wants to go it alone just to spoil. So that will be number one. So the question is, what might grant Raila a win will depend on whether the Central Kenya are going to give him more than 500,000. Actually, he, for him to start, he took 1 million from Kambani. So if Kambani give him 500, will Central Kenya give him 2 million? That will be the ground number one, because William Ruto is also neutralizing the other grounds. Two, if he joins Kenya Kwanza, will he attract that vote to William Ruto, or will he undergo the fate of Musalia Mudavadi, so that he actually roots out with the Ukambani people? And if you ask me, this I would think this is it. It is better for Kalonzo Musyoka to go and work with William Ruto than going to the ballot alone. And I wish I'm wrong, but it is better for him to go the other side, because he has already told his supporters that William Ruto is a thief, that he cannot work with William Ruto. So if he joins the other end, actually, it is going to demystify this working agreement with Raila, and he will feel like he did not want to work with Raila. He was just destined to go to Oka. Then with that, they can divide Ukambani vote katikati. He's going to face rebellion back in his community. Then the three Ukambani governors can then take charge and give maybe a percentage to Raila Odinga. So if you ask me, instead of, if he can't work with Raila, then he should just go and work with Ruto. Thirdly, how about if he doesn't vie? Yes, that's also a probability. If he doesn't vie, then what it means, Raila might get a good percentage compared to William Ruto, but the turnout will be low. Because politics is local and politics is community-based, is the community-based. So the low turnout in Ukambani might generally affect. That is why, at whatever point, if Kalonzo Musyoka is on the ballot, the Ukambani turnout is going to be high. So guys, that's my analysis on the three scenarios that might play out. We are waiting on Sunday to see what's happening on this Azimio National Delegates Conference.